China comes to a violent and bloody end. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Wolves hiding nearby, whispering do or die around me. You say your last goodnight while I get
There is another very important phase of warfare. It has as its target not the body, but the minds of the enemy.
The target of psychological warfare is against the enemy's mind.
It is words and ideas.
The ammunition used by Psy-War.
Its mission is to influence the thoughts of the enemy soldier, and at the same time
is expected and encouraged to study foreign languages and the social sciences such as history, economics, and sociology. He must have a broad and sympathetic understanding of all phases of human experience.
gripping at my skin, the walls of night closing.
but the use of this force as an integral part of combat has now taken on new form.
Say my last goodbye.
These are the Psy-War soldiers.
There are many people in the world who really don't understand. Freedom has many difficulties, but we have never had to put a wall up to keep our people in. Freedom is indivisible. And when one man is enslaved, all are not free.
Modern war has become a struggle for men's minds as well as for their bodies. Today we face an enemy that spends enormous sums of money and manpower all over the globe in an attempt to subvert the thinking of the people of the free world, confuse, divide, and ultimately disseminate.
It is a contest unlike any we have ever faced in our history as a nation.
Contest for the minds and thoughts of people around the world. All people.
When power corrupts, poetry cleanses. We must never forget that art is not a form of propaganda. It is a form of truth.
Psychologists find that control of emotions can be gained
by understanding the stimulus response pattern. Many everyday things become associated with these kinds of stimuli, partly by a process called conditioning.
It's a strange, shadowy world. The doctor's photograph, the misquotation, insinuation, and the lie.
I think of fire as next to the emotion.
You've got to get a hold of yourself.
We'll light our country and all who serve it. And the glow from that fire can truly light the world.
Yes, in modern warfare, our military leaders are finding that words and ideas are highly effective weapons.
Psychologists find that control of emotions can be gained by understanding the stimulus response pattern. Many everyday things become associated with these primary stimuli, partly by a process called conditioning.
Relaxing, ain't it?
Greetings, brothers and sisters from the four corners of the world. I hope everyone is having a blessed and prosperous day, afternoon, and evening in your perspective lands. All right. For this lesson on Only a Remnant Survive, episode 7, we're going to start it off with Psy-Op, Luekwarm, or psychological operation lukewarm. And I know some people are like, what? What does lukewarm and psychological warfare have to do with one another? What do they have to do with one another? Well, well. I guess we got to take you on a journey, don't we? Second Baruch, chapter 24 reads, "For behold, the days are coming, and the books will be opened, in which, excuse me, for behold, the days are coming, when the books will be opened, in which are written the sins of all those who have sinned, and moreover also the treasuries in which are brought together the righteousness of all those who have proven themselves to be righteous. And it will happen at that time that you shall see, and many with you, the long suffering of the Most High, which lasts from generation to generation, who has been long suffering toward all who are born, both those who sinned and those who have proved themselves to be righteous. And I answered and said, But behold, O Lord, a man does not know the number of things which pass away, nor those which come. For behold, I also know what has befallen me, but that which will happen with our enemies, I do not know. Or when you will command your works. And he answered and said to me, you also will be preserved until that time, namely until that sign which the Most High will bring about before the inhabitants of the earth at the end of days. This then will be the sign. When horror seizes the inhabitants of the earth, they will fall into many tribulations, and further, they fall into great torments. And it will happen that they will say in their thoughts, because of their great tribulations, the mighty one does not anymore remember the earth. It will happen when they lose hope that the time will awake. And I answered and said, that tribulation which will be, will it last a long time? And that distress, will it embrace many years? Now, this is lukewarm, brothers and sisters. Lukewarm. And I want you to take a good look at this picture. This episode here will be broken down into several parts. As you can see, I have the water here, I have my other scriptures, but I just haven't given them out yet. Water and fire. Water and fire. And I want you to really think about that as we go through this. Many people said, oh, well, the straight and narrow. Trust me, we're going to break it all down. Now, you see the United States. This is a map of the United States, or what we call the United States, Babylon, right? Biblically. Here, this is January 20th. You had in the United States their TikTok fiasco. You have the LA, Los Angeles, California regional fires. You have the fires in the Bronx. You have the fires in Ghana. You have the icing in Venezuela. So many things going on all over the world. But something is very strange here. And I want everyone to know, I'm going to start in the physical here, just as what people see. And then I know you may say, physical? I'm not really sure how Psy-Op is physical. Well, I'm going to show you. And then we'll get into, and the fire portion, we'll get into the spiritual. Like, for example, one could only just wonder why TikTok and Hollywood, parts of Hollywood, are on fire. And TikTok was on fire for the sake of, shutting down. You see over 150 plus million people in the US crying over X, Y, and Z. But it had a lot more to do than just Hollywood on fire and then TikTok being banned For example, we can go through this, and I will go through this, most high willing. They don't block me for any of this. But the reason why Los Angeles is being placed on fire by the one and only Most High is because Los Angeles is an ancient reptilian city. You don't believe me? I will go into it in the fire portions. I have the maps. I have the news articles from the LA Times from what, 1963 or 30, 39, somewhere around there. How the whole underground, before they put in subway systems, were cities for reptilians. So the Most High saying, for those who have eyes to see and ears to listen, don't think it's strange that I'm destroying these places. Now, once again, I said to people in lessons before, I said to you all, be careful, because with all thy knowledge, get understanding. So many people now can't even tell if the Most High is bringing judgment or if it's harp. So let's bring some clarity. In Los Angeles and California, there were fires of tornado fires, kind of like the scene from Elijah. Only the Most High could do something like that. And surely some people will say, oh, what about Smart City, LA? And listen here. Listen here for those in the US, right? If you've seen their plans, let's just say the US stays till 2030 and then boom, it's kaput, it's finished, right? If you see their plans, why not try to leave? I'm confused. As if you stopping to pay your tax dollars, as if you informing people on, even how us ministers do on YouTube. Some people do Instagram. Some people do X or Twitter. Some people even do the TikTok. What good is the knowledge if you don't help yourself? It kind of defeats the purpose. So, anywho, let's talk about this psychological warfare, known as Psy-Op. What is it? It is the use of propaganda. That's right. So, who knew that news stations, even social media, is psychological warfare? That's right. You're welcome, Minister Yashab, or thank you, Minister Yashab, because I was the only minister, or one of the few, I should say, out there who told you stay away from this crap. Now, some of you may say, well, I have the ability to discern. Do you understand? Do you understand psychological warfare? You do not. So, for example, Donald Trump in his rally the day before his rally on the 19th I don't know where he was in the US, but he gave his little pep rally. And then at the end, they were they had all the people come out, talk on his behalf, blah blah blah. And then at the end of his speech, they had the YMCA. Now, the YMCA was a group of sodomites, okay, but it's deeper than that because the YMCA was also in operation at Guantanamo Bay. Hmm. And he's talking about rounding up immigrants, okay? YMCA, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. And they used to play music. They used to torture the prisoners, not only with this song too, but amongst other things. You get it, don't you? This is psychological warfare supported by military. And I'm gonna try and not say too much, but um, years ago, um, when I was in the military, I was at Fort Bragg. I was training for some things, and my sergeant major, he said, "Be careful now," before he gave the write off for me to go to one of these schools. He said, "Be careful now. This stuff is not a joke. This stuff is not a joke." And I was like 20 years old. I was just like, yeah, all right, I hear what you're saying. This was before I came into the truth. Hmm. Anywho, it's supported by economic, political measures as may be required. Such propaganda is generally intended to demoralize, wow, demoralize the enemy, break his will to fight or resist. Remember, through economic policies as well, to break someone mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. That's what psychological warfare is. You wonder why I was doing no strings attached series. You wonder why I'm doing the spiritual warfare series, which barely anyone pays attention to, but I'm doing it anyway. Why? Because the Most High showed me that video 2 years ago. What? That's right. 2 years ago. 2 years ago. 2023. Yeah. Same video I showed you 2 years ago. And that was the US military, by the way. I will show it again. It says sometimes to render him favorably disposed to one's position. Propaganda is also used to strengthen the resolve of allies or resistant fighters. To strengthen the resolve of allies. So to persuade you to believe one side over the other. The twisting of personality and the manipulation of beliefs in prisoners of war by brainwashing and related techniques can also be regarded as a form of psychological warfare. Hmm. Hmm. Quite strange that. The same tactics they use on war criminals, they would use on your TV. They would use on your social media. Hmm. And you're sitting there thinking, well, I don't look up that stuff. Well, you think you haven't been affected. You're too great. Everyone has been affected by this. Everyone has made decisions, even out of the truth, to vote for someone. Even even the smartphones is psychological warfare. You'll be having a conversation talking about, oh, I wish I could get something, and then boom, it pops up on your phone. That's manipulation through technology. It's all psychological warfare. Having its ancient origins, psychological warfare. Cyrus the Great, once again going back to the Bible, employed it against Babylon, Xerxes against the Greeks, and Philip II of Macedonian against the Athens or Athenians. The conquest of Genghis Khan, aided by expertly planted rumors about large numbers of ferocious Mongol horsemen in the army. Later, in American Revolution, Thomas Paine's Common Sense was but one of many pamphlets and leaflets used to strengthen the British American colonists' will to fight. So think about it. Psychological warfare is just motivation to become violent, so to speak. So you notice how we can look on the news in the world, and it's very rare that you see something good. That's also psychological warfare. Or you have to dig for something good that happened in the world. That is psychological warfare. So that you're programmed to believe that everything is always going to be bad. So then you'll start thinking, is there really a God? Why would God allow this? Those are thoughts of psychological warfare. You going to watch Netflix, Hulu, TV, TikTok, YouTube before opening up the scriptures, that's psychological warfare, aka demons. They even said it in there. They said, we are many. Who said that? We are legion. We are many. These are militaries working with fallen. Excuse me. With modern scientific advances in communications, however, such as high speed printing and radio, together with important developments in the fields of public opinion analysis and the prediction of mass behavior, psychological warfare has become a more systematic and widespread technique in strategy and tactics, and a larger ingredient of warfare as a whole. Good. My, 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 my. My goodness. Psychological warfare involves the planned use of propaganda and other psychological operations to influence the opinions, emotions, attitudes, and behaviors of opposition groups. Have mercy. No, I'm just strong enough. I'm just strong enough. Psychological warfare, psy-war, or basic aspects of modern psychological operation, what we know as psyops, has been known by many other terms, including Miso, psyops, political warfare, hearts and minds. My goodness, right? Hearts and minds. I got to win the hearts and minds of the people. You heard politicians say this all the time. And propaganda. The term is used to denote any action which is practiced mainly by psychological methods with the aim of evoking planned psychological reaction in other people. Planned. And I have no idea why my cursor is not highlighting, but planned psychological reaction in other people. One moment, please. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for your patience there in that brief pause. Okay, had to fix that. Evoking plan psychological reaction in other people. Now, you remember in the book of Enoch where it says they do these things. The demons, they seek to do what? It said in the book of Enoch 1. Let me see if I get that real quick. Book of Enoch 1, I think it's chapter 13, if I'm not mistaken. Or, wait, no. Oh, here we go. It was. Excuse me, it was earlier than that. I saw Zazel in there. So, they all swore the oath. They took the wives. They taught them. And there's one part that's missing here. Let me see. 1 second, brothers. Just want to share that perfectly with y'all, so everyone, even newcomers, can see. I'm in my physical book of Enoch, where I wanted to share with y'all. It says they do battle. All right, found it. It was 15. Excuse me. So this is First Enoch in chapter 15 and 16, where it says, "But now the giants who are born from the union of the spirits and the flesh shall be called evil spirits upon the earth, because their dwelling shall be upon the earth. And inside the earth, evil spirits have come out of their bodies, because from the day they were created from the holy ones, they became watchers. Their first origin is the spiritual foundation. They will become evil upon the earth and shall be called evil spirits." Now, I'm going to keep on going here. And then, let's see. Okay. And it says the dwelling of the spiritual beings of heaven is heaven, but the dwelling of the spirits of the earth, which are born upon the earth, is in the earth. The spirits of the giants oppress each other. They will corrupt, fall, be excited, fall upon the earth, and cause sorrow. Now, in the book, it says, and these spirits, this would be verse 11 in the book, and these and the spirits of the giants afflict, oppress, destroy, attack, do battle, and work destruction on the earth and cause trouble. It says, and cause trouble. They take no food, but nevertheless hunger and thirst, and cause offenses. They cause offenses. That is their job, to bring chaos. Various techniques are used and are aimed at influencing a target audience value system, your beliefs. And one thing I caught Donald Trump saying was that he's going to bring back the merit system. Your value, how much value you bring. Hmm. Your value system, your belief system, your emotions, your motives, your reasoning or behavior. It is used to induce, induce confessions or reinforce attitudes. Imagine you having an attitude with someone who's trying to help you, but even you are being controlled by demons because you think you is you when you're being influenced. That's called psychological warfare. Yep, yep. Ooh, that sly serpent boy, Satan. He a sly one. Confessions or reinforce attitudes and behaviors favorable to the originator's objectives and are sometimes combined with black operations or false flag tactics. It is also used to destroy the morale of enemies through tactics that aim to depress troops' psychological states. Target audience can be governments, organizations, groups, and individuals, and is not just limited to soldiers. Obviously, propaganda is news, and anything you see on media, social media, that is. Civilians are foreign territories can also be targeted by technology and media so as to use an effect on the government of their country. This is some strong demonic weaponry. Hmm. Hmm. Stories are foundational to the art and practice of psyops. Wow, the story. Mass communication, such as radio, allows for direct communication with an enemy populace and therefore has been used in many efforts. Social media channels and internet allow for campaigns of disinformation, misinformation performed by agents anywhere in the world. Wowzers. Hmm. I'll put the links in the bio, in the description box, excuse me. Now, just in case you thought you knew, white propaganda, truthful but yet not strongly biased, where the source of information is acknowledged. Gray propaganda, emphasis and racial, ethnic slash religious bias, largely truthful, containing no information that can be proven wrong. The source is not identified. And then black propaganda, commissions of falsification, inherently deceitful, information given, and the product is attributed to a source that was not responsible for its creation. Now, oh my. Imagine you going about your day, okay, and thinking that what you're thinking is what you're thinking, but it's actually not. I love the Bible. I love the Holy Scriptures. It says to meditate, to recite the Most High's word everywhere. Okay, set your affections on the things above, because yeah. let's 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 break it down. Okay, right? CIA made extensive use of Contra soldiers to destabilize Sandinista government in Nicaragua. CIA used psychological warfare techniques against the Panamanians by delivering unlicensed TV broadcasts. Yeah, just imagine. Ju- The United States government has used propaganda broadcasts against the Cuban government through TV Marty, based in Miami, Florida. However, the Cuban government has been successful at jamming the signal of TV Marty. In Iraq War, the United States used the shock and awe campaign to psychologically maim and break the will of the Iraqi army to fight. In cyberspace, social media has enabled the use of disinformation on a wide scale. Analysts have found evidence of doctored or misleading photographs spreading by social media in the Syrian civil war and 2014 Russian military intervention in Ukraine, possibly with state involvement. Military governments have engaged in psychological ops and informational warfare on social networking platforms to regulate foreign propaganda, which includes countries like US, Russia, and China. In 2022, Meta, which is known as Facebook and Instagram, and the Stanford Internet Observatory found over 5 years people associated with the US military who tried to conceal their identities created fake accounts on social media systems, including Ballatarin, Facebook, Instagram, Odinax, can't pronounce that, Odnoklasniki, I think that's Russian, Telegram, Twitter, yeah, you understand, and YouTube. And and I'm sorry if that's anyone's language. I'm not trying to butcher it, can't pronounce it. And YouTube and influence operation in Central Asia and the Middle East. Their posts, primarily in Arabic, Farsi, and Russian, criticized Iran, China, and Russia and gave pro Western narratives. Data suggested that the activity was a series of covert campaigns rather than a single operation. And I'm going to leave that part there. Psychological warfare. And then we see what? Everyone in the US going in a panic over TikTok. And then just as Trump is doing his last 24 hours of not controlling things, he writes a tweet and gets it changed. But I want to show you how affected the American people are. All right, if you have children around, cover their ears. They took out TikTok. You still have Facebook. You still have Instagram. You still have YouTube. You still have Patreon. But you had generations of people. Some people were angry. A lot of people were crying. A lot of those individuals have never even had a job. And I'm going to show you. A lot of people says, "Oh, cuz TikTok had all the truth." TikTok, it was never about TikTok having truth, because you can find truth on every single platform. And in fact, I'm a believer now that you could see tons of stuff on X or that Twitter, and I didn't have one, but till just last year I created one. That's how I find a lot of the videos that I share with you guys now. But it was not about the truth. It was about more so, and I'm not going to try and point out just one generation, even though the stock of TikTok would have been just Gen Z, but there are millennials, there are Gen X up there as well. But the stock of them was the younger generations and Gen Z and below. I think it's Generation Alpha. This was never about the truth, okay, for them. It was about doing something in the comfort of their home and earning something I'm going to say it, I am going to say it. Some people are going to say I'm a hater, but earning money that they don't deserve. Okay. And I'm going to say this: how many people are becoming famous or rich from TikTok in Malaysia or excuse me, Maldives or Africa or even South America, even the islands, rural countries? It was now it's becoming a point where the United States generations no longer want to work like everyone else. They feel entitled to an app that would allow other people to view them and pay them rather than go and contribute something good to society. Now, what they should have been crying over was, hey, because us individuals, and I would like to use different words, but morons, but because these individuals, over 170 million people, that's more than half of your nation, is using this TikTok, and you find it that now, because you need TikTok, they have placed robots to take over jobs. You see, but you didn't care about that though, because you were getting all the money from TikTok. Or what about child trafficking? What about pornography? They haven't stopped those things, but you're crying over TikTok. You're crying over this. And so all of them were going to red note, and now I think it's back up. Now, I did some research and I said, before Donald Trump gave his speech, I said, and before it went back up, I said, they're going to make it look like Donald Trump is a hero. Watch. And sure enough, he did. Sure enough, he did. Everywhere else in the world, you can't just sit on a computer all day. You have to get up and do something. You have to work. You have to contribute. But anywho, I did a little research into this. Everyone going to Red Note. Red Note, Red Note, Red Note, Red Note, right? Red Note was the app that they changed. So Red Note is called in Chinese, can't pronounce it, but it means little red book. Hmm, little red book. Eh, what's a book got to do with social media? Something's not right here. Little red book. Well, this red note was also called the little treasure book. Now, if you hear something with treasure, you think of, oh, it has a lot of value in here. Hmm. Hmm. What you think about it real quick? Now, it said a pocket-sized quotation book, 400 quotes. What you think about it now? The math ain't mathing. Right? It's not adding up here because this was a communist book that became a symbol of rebellion and revolution. What? That's right. And he had a personality cult, had reached its peak for the quotation of the book, and it soon became a political Bible and a source of spiritual information, inspiration. Every person in China had at least one copy, and its reading and recital became a daily ritual. People would carry the little red book everywhere and studied it religiously. They could get into trouble for showing disrespect for the book or misquoting it. For all those crying and shaming about TikTok and oh, it's so whack. It is so. You have been a victim of psychological warfare. So you mean to tell me, here we go now. You mean to tell me that the owner of TikTok is Chinese? And there's nothing against Chinese people because Chinese people are nice to me. I ain't had no problem with them, actually. Not one. So you mean to tell me the owner of TikTok, Byte Dance or whatever they call it, is Chinese, but then they place algorithms for you to see Little Red Book or Red Note. Hmm. Oh, this getting real because they said this was also a version. There were versions used for military leaders. So imagine if I want to go to war with you and I'm telling you, hey, come on now. Use our stuff. We want to see what the American people are like. And they just showed the greatest form of weakness. A bunch of sissies crying over a social media app. And instead, they can't get a real job. So they want to cry when there's so many more benefits in their country more than just that. Hmm. But you see, all this, brothers and sisters, has come out in what they call the age of Aquarius now. Now, once again, we don't follow horoscopes, but I thought it was interesting that Donald Trump will be placed in office January 20th now, and the day of the age of the Aquarius begins on the 20th of January. All right, so something popping off here. Okay, I mean, but not only that, then you look at the Chinese, since we see, first it was the red wave, now it's the red note, right? And now it's the age of Aquarius, it's the Jubilee, it's the year of the portals, right? And now we're at the wheel of the year, and we're seeing what the Chinese zodiac, which this, according to them, would be called the year of the snake. Now, biblically, we understand that's the year of the deceiver, but something's off here, right? Now, this is the sixth animal on their 12-year cycle of animals. Now, follow me here. And it is associated with the earth branch symbol. Okay. Now, we understand that the branch is Christ. All right. The husbandman is the most high God, and the branch divine is Christ. So something is weird here. But anywho, it says one legend, there is a reason for the order of the animals in the cycle. A race was held to cross a great river, and the order of the animals in the cycle was based upon their order in finishing the race. Now, I thought it was kind of weird because, Paul says we're running a race, and keep running a race, but this is talking about crossing a river, which would be great tribulation, in order to finish a race. But yet, you can't dismiss the fact that Satan is referred to as the serpent, which means Satan wasn't going to make it easy, which means it's going to be 1 year. and I said this would be the year of the Jubilee until next year. You got the portals, so people going to get recompense. And look what it says. When the horse was about to cross the finish line, the snake jumped out. So imagine, I want you to see the tone. Some people are getting ready, I'm finished with America, I'm done. And what did I tell you before? When you feel like you're ready to go, that's when Satan jump out and say, well, you see, remember a few years ago you were thinking about this, and I just wanted to share with you things are getting better. So would you like that job? Would you like that home? Or old people start coming out. I just want to let you know I'm so sorry. And if there's anything I could do. You see, the goal was to frighten people from finishing so that he could finish and then laugh at you at the end. Doesn't it say that? A fool looks at a person and shakes. So they said, oh, look. In the Wisdom of Solomon, they start clapping every time something go wrong for you. Look at this dummy. I was able to scare them. Here they were getting ready to do what the Most High said, and look at this idiot over here. That's what Satan's going to say. I'm not going to say that, but that's what Satan's going to say. Look at you. You look foolish. You're the snake. My, oh my. You're the snake, right? I mean, it's a it's a lot of psychological warfare going on. And then I just seen this Bible that was published called the Upside Down Kingdom. America, I think if you in that country, you need to run. Because despite what they say, that it has to do with addressing topics of race and ethnicity, care, creation care, science, abortion, wealth, poverty, gender, sexuality, all kinds of stuff, right? When you say with a crown that's upside down, you think the Most High is going to be happy with that? You are the only nation, along with Europe, where no one seems to care about respecting God's word. The Upside Down Kingdom Bible? Why are you even still able to print Bibles? But anyhow, I don't want to get carried away. I don't. You may wonder, why did I start off with Second Baruch? You have psychological warfare. You have the year of the snake, the great deceit. But yet this is a jubilee, so this is recompense. But yet Satan would be there to talk you out of your blessing, or even to talk you out of the correction that the Most High has for you. Imagine running. Imagine crying almost every day, and the Most High says, "All right, yeah, recompense. I seen your tears. I seen how hard you've been working, and all it takes is for one old friend, one family member to convince you. Well, hey, we got this going on, and remember, we were finally able to do it." All it's going to take is a few whispers to get some people to say, all right, I get a shot. I'm telling you right now, this whole Donald Trump, Biden, Kamala stuff they got going on, major, major psyop. You got the people in Israel calling Donald Trump the American Messiah, the non Jewish Messiah. People who killed children. Just a few months ago, they was running underground tunnels from their synagogue to places of government positions and offices. This is kind of like a psyop here. But the psyop is that things are going to get so good. Things are going to get so good. Okay? Things are going to get so good. Things are going to get so good. They're going to get so good. And when they do, some people are going to say, to leave? To do X, Y, and Z? I want to read this with you. This is the Apocalypse of Daniel. It says, now mind you, this is the prophet Daniel now. And the king of the Romans will subdue every enemy and adversary under his feet. And the scepter of the king will be long lived, likewise that of the two small boys. And his fame will go forth from the east and the west, and there will be one empire, and one will resist him, because this man has come from God, and he will cause all war to cease. And there will be great peace, and every city and fortresses will be built, and there will be many altars acceptable to God in all the civilized world, and all the islands and the mountains will be inhabited. And the bread and the wine and the olive oil and the gold and the silver will increase in all the earth. And that king will cause all hostility to cease upon the earth. And they will make their weapons into skins or synths. And his reign will be for 36 years. And the rulers of the Romans will desire to join in war, but will not find it. And all the perimeters of the earth will fear them. And that king will glorify God, because in his reign God gave to him the good things of the earth, which he did not give since the foundation of the world. And the king will fall asleep in peace, and his two small boys will be taken up in peace after 33 years. And after him there will arise from the north another king, and working great impurities and many injustices, he will also work great iniquities. And he will couple mother and son, brother and sister. And he will bring the monks out of, and that just means the devoted or the consecrated ones, out of the holy monasteries, churches, temples, and will join the monasteries together, and will cause the nuns to lie with his nation. And he will work great transgression. Woe to them, to the Christian race. Now, mind you, this is the apocalypse of Daniel. Woe to those who are pregnant, and the praises of God also will cease. And the Lord God will call fire from heaven and will consume them. And after him, a foul and alien woman will reign in the seven-hilled city, and she will settle on the southern side of the seven-hilled city, which is Rome, which is now. And it's kind of odd, right? Because isn't the mayor of Los Angeles a new woman? And when she went to Ghana, Ghana went on fire, and then when she came back to Los Angeles, Los Angeles caught right on fire, right? But it's also strange how the Italians, the Romans, the woman just said that she wants that Rome to be the capital of the European Union, just like in the ancient times. And it's a woman over the seven-hilled city now. Kind of strange. And therefore, woe to the Christian race. I mean, look what they did. The upside down kingdom Bible. Yeah, of course there's so many woes. You condone unrighteousness. You turn the other cheek towards blasphemy. Because those people in the pulpit sit there and perform psychological warfare on their own people. But they don't see us people. They see us stupid sheep who'll do anything they say, and as long as they warm up your little heart, you'll warm up their pocket. Woe to you, seven-hilled Babylon, because the Byzantium of God, or it should say the God of the Byzantium, will flee from you, because they didn't believe in the Most High. Hollywood does not believe in the Most High. and your holiness and your temples will flee from you, and your glory will fall, and woe to you, seven-hilled Babylon, the new Byzantine. And woe to you, the Christian race. Again, there will be an inroad of nations. Again, fear among the Romans. Again, slaughters and disturbance for the Roman nation. Churches will be destroyed. The faith has been dissolved. Mind you, churches did not exist in Daniel's time. Don't believe me? Read the scriptures. Churches was new, by the way. Women conceive babies of misbelievers, meaning having children with people who do not serve the Most High. And therefore, woe to you, wretched Babylon, the mother of cities, because God will incline his wrath, which emits fire, and your high walls will fall, and there will remain you only one pillar of Constantine the Great, so that they who sail the sea may lament there, and furthermore the kingdom will be taken up from him and will be given to Rome. Full stop. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Now, I think I'll be nice here. I'm gonna keep my voice here. I'm gonna give you a sneak peek. I said I wasn't gonna do this most high, but I give him a sneak peek. Okay. I'll give you a sneak peek. Can I do that? Will y'all appreciate the news, the information? I don't know, Most High. Will they? Let's see if we can blast it. Let's see. I want to try and. But I don't know how to enlarge it. So, anywho, California, United States. Now, if you didn't believe that it was an underground city, here's all the proof for you. LA Times. This is Los Angeles Times. January 29, 1934, Lizard People's Catacomb City Haunted. What? Let's look at it. January 29, 1934, Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Wow, look at that. Engineer sinks shaft under Fort Moore Hill to find maze of tunnels and priceless treasures of legendary inhabitants. What in the world? You wouldn't believe me. It's a corrupted place. The United States is falling, and by the Most High attacking. Look, and said fire destroyed it all, and now he's doing it again. But no. That's just not enough for you. It's just not enough. Did strange people live under the site of Los Angeles 5,000, which is a lie, 5,000 years ago? Here is the map. And they found portals The Most High is tearing it down. And you just had no idea. So, when they tell you it's for a smart city, you say, scratch that. I know what God showed me. You can build a smart city, a dumb city, a high city, a low city, a rich city, and Elysium over it. It still was a home for fallen. So, of course, God would destroy that smart city and make it dumb. Yeah. It's psychological warfare. You think they're going to get all that stuff done? Really? Really? I can't believe you. I can't believe you. I can't believe you. But anyway, let's just keep going. Revelation 3:14. It says, unto the angel of the church of the Laodiceans, write these things, saith Amen. The faithful and true witnesses, the beginning of the creation of God. I know thy works, and here's also, okay. I know thy works, that thou art neither hot nor cold. What? This is looking wild to me. That thou art neither hot or cold, I would that thou wert hot or cold. So then, because thou art lukewarm, neither hot, neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. Because thou sayest, I am rich. Thou sayest, thou increased with thy goods. Oh yeah, look at me. Hey, as long as we got these sales going, we living it up. And I have need of nothing. I got freedom. I got TikTok. I got my house, my mama house, my daddy house. I got my car. I got him. I got her. I could start a GoFundMe. I don't need nothing. I'm good. And knowest not that thou art wretched, miserable, poor, blind, and naked. I sat there and thought, Most High, you got on one side of on this devilish country, you got one side going through ice, vortexes, all kinds of hail and snow, blizzards. And on the other side, there's nothing but fires and fires and floods and fires. And now they're about to get hit with a vortex over there. And I'm like, I don't know if anyone noticed, but if you've read the Old Testament, I mean, all of it, probably like from Psalms and on up, right? Even Job on up, right? You would recognize that when the Most High would use people for an example to the whole world. I mean, look at the United States, a country that used to thrive off of what they would call intelligence and the American dream and getting a degree and being something useful in the world. And now you have a generation that can't go without a phone. Think about it, an entire generation that will post themselves crying about getting a job before actually going to get one. You have become deplorable even to the people who wish they were in your shoes, people who are less than you. America is the example of what not to be. America is the example of what it means to have everything and be grateful for nothing. Think about that. You got a country full of druggies and dealers and shooters and killers, and then let's not even forget the spiritual aspect of the blasphemy and the jealousy one towards another, and you all got the same ability to do the same things, but yet you're going to be jealous over one another. America will be made an example because it's everything you shouldn't become. It's everything you shouldn't be involved in. It's everything you shouldn't have access to. It's everything you should never want to be a part of. That's what it is. That's what the Bible says. It says, I am rich. Well, we're good over here. You get them income taxes over there. They celebrating like a hero after war. It's just money. But it says you're miserable, poor, blind, naked, you know nothing. I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire. Now, a lot of people didn't catch this. Christ was saying, I'm letting you know that the only way to be chosen by me is to go through that fire to become gold. So by you saying, oh, because I've made it, I got my degree, I'm living out my parents' house, or my parents helped me with this, or I got this much money and I can just do a TikTok in a week and get paid. You actually are giving up your opportunity to get into the kingdom. You're losing your ability. You're losing your ability by being prideful. It says, I counsel thee to buy of me, tried in the fire, that thou mayest be rich in white raiment, that thou mayest be clothed, and that thy shame of thy nakedness do not appear. And that shame, why did Adam and Eve need to cover up? Because sin. Sin causes shame. Look at you, America. You have everything, but yet you are so far from God. You have the freedom to Amazon, to eBay, but yet you are the furthest from God. You allow every form of distraction to distract you away from the Most High. When there are 90% of the rest of the world has to actually work hard for a living. And this is not to discredit those who work in 2 and 3 jobs at once, because that I've been there as well, and that is not an easy feature. But do understand, God did not create the human body to keep working 2 and 3 jobs and graveyard shifts and all the. I say graveyard shift, but do you know where the graveyard shift came from? Do you know that they used to bury dead bodies, and they thought they were dead. And a woman was trapped in a coffin, buried, and then she was able to get out. And so from there, they put a bell over every graveyard at one point, and it was hooked up into a latch or something from inside the coffin. So just in case that some bell rung, the graveyard worker during the night, the graveyard shift, they would hear the bells, ding, 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 and go to the graveyard in that certain part of the graveyard and dig up the body because they got it wrong and thought someone was dead. That's what a graveyard shift was for. It was to save people um, who were presumed dead but were actually alive. But anywho, that's just a fun fact. Anyway, Most High didn't create people to do that. Yeah, yeah. But anywho, when you sin, you lose your clothing. Clothing allows you to be righteously happy in serving the Most High. When Adam and Eve sinned, they had to take the leaves, make a garment. Most High gave them a garment to cover up their shame, which was nakedness. It says, anoint thine eyes with eye salve that thou mayest see. Now, wait a minute. What did Christ just say? He said, anoint thy. Oh my goodness. What? Come on now. Come on now. You know how you do clear eyes? You know, the dry guy, right? You know the guy, clear eyes, dry, clarinex, right? Christ said, Christ was the first one to say, hey, clean up your eyes. Anoint thy eyes with eye salve. Why would he say that? That thou mayest see. Because Christ was trying to tell people what you're looking at is not of necessity. What your focus is on is not of necessity. That beam is not even sticking out of your eye. It's so far lodged in your skull that you no longer feel anything. Christ was saying you need to just anoint the whole eye, and hopefully you could see. This goes to show you that even Christ was saying, watch what you're paying attention to. Because what you pay attention to will have you drifting off so far, you won't even realize you're in a hot air balloon until you're far from when you turn back and you're saying, oh man, where am I going? And you see the thing? When you're in a hot air balloon, you may not even know where you're going next. That wind will just take you. You may not even know the destination. You may think you're getting in a balloon for a journey, and it blow you right off course. The Most High Christ said, be careful what you're paying attention to. Oh, you lukewarm individuals. Oh, you lukewarm individuals. As many as I love, I rebuke and chasten. Be zealous, therefore, and repent. Behold, I stand at the door and knock, and if any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him and he with me. Now, did anyone see that at the Vatican when the Pope went to the door, he knocked 3 times to wait for Christ to open it? That was what they were doing. They were rehearsing as if Christ was opening it for them. Look it up. He knocked on the door. Boom, boom, boom. I think it was 2 or 3 times. If I'm not mistaken, it was 3. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Blasphemy. Blasphemy. To him that overcometh will I grant to sit with me in my throne. Even I also overcame and am set down with my Father in his throne. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. Now let's go back here. Let's go back. The thing saith the Amen. The things saith that were firm, trustworthy, and to be taken very seriously. Okay? The faithful and true witness. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would that thou were cold or hot. Now, everyone thinks that this is just room temperature. But let me show you what the word cold means. All right. Now, is that cool? All right. Now you see this. It says, i.e., sluggish, inert. What? Coolness, sluggish. Just to relax. Right? You can even see inert. Destitute of the power of moving itself. Active resistance to motion. Impressed as a matter of inert. Sounds like what word? What does it sound like? You don't know what it sounds like yet? Let me help you. Let me help you. Inert. Without inherent force, having no power to act or respond. Unskilled, incompetent, inactive, helpless, weak, sluggish, worthless. Wow. Inactive, chemically inactive, stagnant, fluids, expressionless eyes. So you mean to tell me, yeah, coming from that word inertia, right? Unskillful, ignorant, inactive, and idle. So Christ said, well, let me tell you, you lazy. You are lazy. You want to follow me. You want to get in my kingdom, but because you have more than others, you think you're good. I am rich. I have goods. I need of nothing. I live in America. Even Europeans too. But just a wretched people. Even Canadians too. Australia been going through some things. We're gonna say Australia too. But Christ said, oh, you're lazy. I know thy works. Thou art neither lazy, inactive, or what? Let's see. Fervent, callid. Woo, ardent, boy. Okay. Now look at this. When it says warm, hot, it means applied to passions and affections, passionate about the Most High, affectionate about the Most High, engaged. So this was people, Christ was saying, you not even lazy, but you not even engaged, which means, now he didn't told you to put the eye salve on your eyes, which means you couldn't be neither because you wasn't looking in the right place. You're too busy being distracted. And because things sound good, because things look good, you are not even on one side or the other. I can't even determine what to do with you. This is what Christ is saying. What, what do you want me to do with you? We're talking about this is the year of the Jubilee. This is the year of recompense. And I seen the writing on the wall and I said, oh my goodness, Most High. You want me to do what? You want me to do what? Listen, listen, listen. Listen, listen, listen. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Brothers and sisters, I'm going to cut it here. All right? Because I don't want to overwhelm you with so much all at once. But I'm going to say, next we're going to get into Galatians, and we're going to break down this lukewarm spirit furthermore. We're going to break it down furthermore. I give this about a year, maybe. In about a year, I'm thinking about shutting this all down. Shutting all of it down, all the platforms I have online. We're just doing boots on the ground, where I will be at that time. Trying to give you guys all the things needed. I can see it. I can see it. I can see it. I can see it. Psychological warfare. You're not engaged. But yet idle. Just in between. 1 minute you want to be engaged, 1 minute you don't. 1 minute you want to be engaged, 1 minute you don't. It means jumping from both sides. When things get too hot, when things get too tough, I'm going to just stay on this side a little bit more. When you feel excited and you see things all in the mix on the news and everything on social media, you're like, man, I got to do something. And you want to get riled up for the Most High. These are lukewarm people. Well, this year we're going to need you to stay on one side. We're going to need you to be either lazy and idle, the sluggard, or we're going to need you to put the foot on the pedal, full throttle, all in. We, in the next portion, brothers and sisters, are going to break this down, and I will break more of that video down as well, as I will play it again. But brothers and sisters, Christ said, "Be not deceived. Many will be in my name. Many shall come, saying, I follow Christ. Many shall say, Lord, 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 I was with you the whole time." But he said, I needed you to put eye salve in your eye so you could see. Brothers and sisters, if you've been a victim of psychological warfare, you need to pay close attention to this ministry. Strings attached, spiritual warfare, and only a remnant survive. With that being said, stay sharp, stay alert, stay alive, and always seek the Most High. Shalom.
As the world watches and listens in horror, the peaceful pro-democracy demonstration in China comes to a violent and bloody end. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Wolves hiding nearby, whispering do or die around me. You say your last goodnight while I get
There is another very important phase of warfare. It has as its target not the body, but the mind of the enemy. The target of psychological warfare is to test the enemy's mind. It is words and ideas. Ammunition used by Psy-Op. Its mission is to influence the thoughts of the enemy soldier, and at the same time
Is expected and encouraged to study foreign languages and the social sciences such as history, economics, and sociology. He must have a broad and sympathetic understanding of all phases of human experience.
gripping at my skin, the walls of night closing.
the use of this force as an integral part of combat has now taken on new form.
Say my last
These are the Psy-War soldiers.
There are many people in the world who really don't understand. Freedom has many difficulties, but we have never had to put a wall up to keep our people in. Freedom is indivisible. And when one man is enslaved, all are not free.
Modern war has become a struggle for men's minds as well as for their bodies. Today we face an enemy who spends enormous sums of money and manpower all over the globe in an attempt to subvert the thinking of the people of the free world, confuse, divide, and ultimately to subjugate.
It is a contest unlike any we have ever faced in our history as a nation.
Contest for the minds and thoughts of people around the world, all people.
When power corrupts, poetry cleanses. We must never forget that art is not a form of propaganda. It is a form of truth.
Psychologists find that control of emotion can be gained by understanding the stimulus-response pattern. Many everyday things become associated with these kinds of stimuli, mostly by a process called conditioning.
It's a strange, shadowy world. The doctor's photographs, the misquotation, insinuation of the lie.
I think of fire as connecting the emotion. Love, respect,
Realize our country and all who serve. And the world from that side and truly like the world.
Yes, in modern warfare, our military leaders are finding that words and ideas are highly effective weapons.
Psychologists find that control of emotion can be gained by understanding the stimulus-response pattern. Many everyday things become associated with these primary stimuli, partly by a process called conditioning.
Relaxing and